simple living and high thinking. So what is the outside world? What kind of living is outside? Complicated living and no time for thinking. By learning all the Puranas that one's life can be perfect. Is it written like that anywhere? So to make our life perfect, what is required?
Practice.
We have to follow that. We have to apply what we've learned. Otherwise, knowing something and not following is as good as not knowing. Right? So that's why this simple living is very important, because simple living is, in one sense, is the essence of all the scriptures. We are in the modern age. So if you make our life simple, then how do we face the competition? It's a cutthroat competition, right? Actually, Bhagavad Gita says that if one doesn't have peace of mind, how can you be happy? You need to have peace of mind. So what brings us this peace of mind?
One example would be less material objects. I can give you an example, simple example is, let's say, I want actually a car, and I need a car, but one car is not enough, I need a second car, just basically to go a little faster. But the fact that I have a second car now has added actually one more material to worry about maintaining it, putting gas in it. When it breaks down, I actually have to fix it. So what I'm trying to drive the point is, yes, we need actually certain materials, but after a point of time, you find out those materials actually give you more trouble, more headaches than you probably would have been without it. That's at least one example. It's less material possessions.
Thank you.
We'll give you a little.
Thank you. That's a nice example. So that, let's note down that point, right? Less material anxieties. Try to reduce your demands, and then you get more peace of mind. Okay, we noted. There is enough in this world for everyone's need, but not for one man's greed. He said that the definition of rich, as the intelligent person gives a definition of rich, is the less you have in the need list, the richer you are, the wealthier you are. Let's say I have right now a list of things that I need. It goes from 1 to 10. And these 10 are making me away from richness. Okay? So you come to America, do whatever, business, and after 10 years you look at your list again. If the list goes to 90, that means you're actually poor. So that's, definitely, that's a valid point. As Prabhuji said, reduce your material things, reduce your wish list. So in this definition, who's actually richer?
Sannyasis.
The saints are the richest people. Because whatever they have in the list, it's also meant to serve others actually. They're not supposed to have anything for their self thing. I need to do this, but it's all for the welfare of the society. And they are like the military for the entire world. Really valid points, right? He's saying if you are looking for a peace, get in touch with someone who is already peaceful.
Whoever cannot be satisfied, there won't be better miser than them. Whoever can be satisfied easily, there won't be a richest person than them.
Since we are not, first we have to know, to have a self-satisfaction, we should know what is self. If I realize I am not the body, I am something beyond this body and mind, if I am the soul, eternal soul, so you think for the benefit of the soul, right? That is permanent for you. Relationships are very powerful. Ultimately, they bring us the ultimate happiness, because the nature of the soul is to to be interdependent. So we all want independence, generally. But the reality is that we are interdependent. Right? That's the nature. In the spiritual world, we were depending on the Lord because He was in the center. Now we are here. If you see, if you analyze thoroughly, we're all, we can't be happy alone. Let's say the world, Third World War and whatever, everything ended and we are alone in this whole planet Earth. How miserable will it be, staying alone, right? We feel maybe whoever is left alone, he'll make a suicide or something, right? So the point is, we are social animals in the sense we need that relationship, right? If you ask a young youth person, probably Western, you ask what brings happiness, he generally will say all stuff related to senses. Depending on his age. Like Peter Prabhu rightly said, he said a game. And when he grew up, he'll say girlfriend or something. And then when he grew up, right, he'll say something else. The point is, people define about senses. That's a very low level of understanding. That's easy, right? Kids like sweet and, today she made a rasagulla, Yoga wanted 8 or 5 of them. Give me more. The point is, how many rasagullas she can eat? If you give 4 or 5 after that, no more. Even if you 4, she will vomit. Right? So there is a limitation for sensual happiness. So if you go beyond this sensual happiness is the senses come in contact with the sense object, it gives us happiness. What's actually giving us peace of mind is our relationship with our dear ones. Isn't it true? Because that's why we have to spend some time so that we just have to be constantly reminded to balance. So once we realize this, right, the relationship is the key to be happy. Who was the world's richest, happiest people? America? Europe? Who are they? India is one of the second. Yeah, and what is the next one? Mexico. Because they still value the relationships. Because there's no matter how successful we are, if our dependents, our dear ones, if we can't improve the relationship and the interdependence on them, then ultimately we'll be miserable. That will destroy our peace of mind at the end of the day. The intelligent people ask this question: when you are in the deathbed, how much do you care about your career? How much do you care about your time? You right? We care about, no, we don't care about those near ones. Probably devotees think about the Lord, otherwise you think about children, right? So if we realize this is one major step, realization that can bring us close to simple living. So let us come back to the original topic. Now this we understood, right? So I'll finish this sequence. Now we understood more than the sensual happiness is the mental happiness. That comes by serving the senses we get sensual happiness. By serving the family we get mental peace. If you can fix your family, put them in a right path, then you can contribute beyond the family to the society. That gives us an intellectual happiness. Is intellectual peace. So the intellectual peace, if we can achieve the intellectual peace, then the mental peace is by default here. Similarly, because there is a need of this sense of duty. My family, I need to take care of them, that gives me peace of mind. Similarly, I belong to this society, so I have to serve the society. Then I get some intellectual happiness. Similarly, if you think, I am part of this world, I get the sunlight, it's free, the fresh air we are here. We take water. If you think we have also consuming these natural resources, right? There is a sense of responsibility to pay back. So you can pay back to each department separate. So we need to understand who is giving all these facilities to us. Vishnu, Jagannath. So then you understand by serving him. Serving him means serving the root. That means by serving the Lord, you are automatically serving the branches, leaves, and the fruits and everything, which includes our family also, society also. If we get too spiritual, then there is no need to, if you realize it, and then if you're at that level, then you don't see that any devotee's family are suffering because he is devoting time for the God. Because that's a proof that you serve the roots, and the entire his family is very, very happy. In fact, the more you surrender, the happier our family will become. The more you surrender to the Lord, the more the family also will surrender. The less they become anxiety. Otherwise, there is only two things in this world: lamenting and hankering. So we have to cultivate that sense of renunciation. To understand, to control the senses. That will help us again to simple living. Simple living, two things. First, to realize that my real happiness comes from my real relationships. And realize that the senses, let's not fall prey to the demands of the senses. Because it's temporary. Remember, TIME. Temporary, I for illusory, M for miserable, need for enjoyment. The sensual enjoyment is actually temporary, illusory, miserable enjoyment. The reason is, we know that first of all, the senses are temporary. They can only enjoy up to 50 years or so, 55, 60 years. After that, they can't enjoy. Secondly, the body itself is temporary. And third, the ability to enjoy will go down. Teeth will fall off, and this and that, right? And we get too many diseases, sugar, and we can't eat sugar. So, and it's illusory because one man's food is other man's poison. Same prasadam we serve for our neighbors, they will think, oh, what a horrible food is that. Right? And it's miserable because the process of acquiring is miserable. The process of protecting is miserable. The process of giving up or losing is also miserable. At every step there is misery. And in between there is only little time we can enjoy. Most of the time we earn and suddenly some market crash, everything goes down. So that's the problem. With anything material, it's because it's the whole process, the whole cycle is miserable. And if you see the next level to mental peace, if you focus on the relationships, at least it is not so temporary, like the sensual happiness. They also give us misery, the children, but it's a duty. I mean, it's not like the senses. They can give unlimited happiness. Also, there is a chance they can give unlimited misery also. Right? So we need to focus on and providing the right background to the children, so that they don't give the opposite to us. Instead of unlimited happiness, you don't give unlimited misery. Similarly, if you focus on the intellectual thing, it's not so temporary. It can stay as long as your body lasts. Let's say you're a gold medalist on certain thing, like you're Einstein kind of person, right? So it lasts even after your body is gone. And it is not so illusory too. It's more real. And it's not so miserable because there is nothing that you can lose. Once you achieve, once you are very capable of certain things, it can be taken away. If you compare the same thing with the spiritual thing, it's eternal. Anything you do little for the God, in the Bhakti Yoga, in a selfless way, it will come beyond this. It will not only help you, it will help your generations. Like Maharaj, he was, he pacified the Lord. He said, ask something. He said, my Lord, I am not a businessman. I can't ask any things to you. I just worship with love and devotion. He said, he prayed for his father. Can you please help my father? Yes, he's liberated. So like that, anything spiritual is not temporary, but eternal. And it's not illusory, it's very real. Because the moment you become spiritual, we can know there will be shift in the consciousness. The complicated lifestyle becomes simple lifestyle. And the paradukha dukhi we become. It means our dukkha is only others' dukkha. Before that, we were parasukha dukhi. others are getting better, or creates anxietiness, competition, right? Immediately the consciousness and our whole thing will change. And there is no question of misery in spiritual thing. In spiritual life, the process of getting is very happy. Kevala Ananda Kanda. Now we have a nice bhajan, we have a nice discussion, we're going to have nice bhajans, more bhajans, and nice prasad. What is difficult in this? A child also is participating, right? And we can. There is nothing that we lose in this. The more we give others, the more we will give. It's completely opposite, right? And it's definitely not illusory, because other people are illusory. Like Mataji's favorite bhajan is Bhaja Govindam. Who wrote Bhaja Govindam? Shankaracharya. And he is, at the age of 5 years old, Maharaj was saying that he's so renounced. He understood this world is illusion. He wants to take sannyas. Mom said, no, how you can take sannyas? You can wait until you become old and about to die. What? Old age or at the deathbed? Or when you are about to die. He tricked her mother. Old age or at the deathbed? Old age. No, when you are dying, you can take sannyas. Okay, all right. Then it is said that he started jumping in a river where there is crocodile. He went in crocodile, and the crocodile was about to eat him, chasing him. Then he cried, Mom. He said, no, I'm about to die. Can I take sannyas? Yes. Please. So he said that he came out and he took the clothes on a corpse and he wore it, took a stick and walked away. So this is a good example to hear, but not to follow. Right? So the point is, we can be as simple as possible. But the thing is, everybody else are so contaminated into this world. If you imitate the previous ages, then we can effectively give others the spiritual things, right? So as much as needed, we can use the tools, right? From Prabhupada's point of view, when he said simple living, high thinking, he refers to dhamvasis, especially Vrindavan. So there is a lot of duty that we have to, that it's on our head. First we need to perfect and we need to help people who are already doing simple living. So the simple living means to realize, I'll just summarize now. To realize that real happiness comes from the real relationships. Let us invest time, at least as much as we invest on the career and things like that, on developing a relationship, and understand that real happiness comes from higher things. It's temporary, TIL. It's all temporary, illusory, miserable. And this knowledge has to come from young age. Prahlad Maharaj said, Kaumaram Acharayam. From 5 years old you should start. So the renunciation is good. The more we are detached from the senses, the better we can do a simple living. Money, 80% of the money is required to advertise things. We don't advertise for air and water, we just go and buy, right? Anyway, the point is, artificially they are promoting so many things that unnecessary things we are thinking that they are very, very much required to us. And for us also, some practical thing is to really question before we buy anything. Am I using it for improving my relationship? Am I using it to serve God? Or am I just buying it as a social thing, as a social prestigious, just to imitate people? But one blind man leading the other blind man, it's like that. It's like one sheep goes under a train, everything else, all other sheep will follow. We need a maid and we hear this news. So let us not take them as ideal example for our lifestyle. We have our standards and our chanting, The more time we can chant, all we need is nice family, some time. So try to get up in the morning and give some quality time for God, and everything will be fine. And sadhu sangha, as Prabhu said, the more we associate with sadhus who are peaceful, the more we associate with people who are practicing, the better we can get in this.